let's run it. Charts up, we love it. Backpack, we done it. GM, good morning, we run it. Sunrise hits like a highlight reel. Coffee poured, yeah, this grind feel real. Wallet looking healthy like a post-gym meal. Crypto fam locked in, no off-day deals. Throwing shade, now we throw confetti. Market bounce back, hands strong, we steady. Dreams too big, so the doubts feel petty. Bull mode hitting, hope you're ready. We ain't stressing, we pressing, blessing the session. Turn every rejection to fuel for progression. Charts look clean, yeah, the vibe is a weapon. We build every day, this is compounding lessons. GM, we rise, we go. Good morning, crypto, steal the show. GM, get hype, let's grow. Another day up, yeah, we glow. Hands to the sky like let's get paid. Chase big goals, not just upgrades. GM bowl energy all day. Smile up, we're built this way. No fear, just flips and vibes. Turning old dreams into real life strides. Hard days hit, we don't divide. Team eats together when the market rides. Tap in early, that sunrise hustle. Bear tried to break us, couldn't touch muscle. Stack small wins, that's compound muscle. Every new block, another flex, no struggle. Climb fast, no breaks, no doubt. Big cheers when the green breaks out. Crypto fam in the chat, full shout. We don't clock in, we break out. Oh! 3 a.m. we rise, we go. Good morning, crypto, steal the show. GM, get hype, let's grow. Every candle's just fuel, let's blow. We don't watch life, we make waves. Another sunrise, another brave day. GM fam, let's go be great. Good morning, crypto. Press play. Wake up, smile, send it.
Step 1, wake up early, gonna rise the sun. Step 2, get some good, some food in you. Step 3, think real hard about what you wanna be. Step 4, everybody just do your thing.
Wake up, today's gonna be a good day. 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 Wake up, today's gonna be a good day.
Good morning, and welcome to Good Morning Crypto, where we turn your early hours in the morning into your edge in financial freedom. Today, I've got no headlines, and my light's a little bit bright. There we go. That looks a little bit better there. I've got no headlines, so we're going to go over some stocks and some crypto today. I do have a quick stock list to go over. It is a lightly talked about section of the stock market. It is the Dividend Kings. But before we get to all of that, let's get you prepped for some success today, because we do have some stuff that we will need to keep our eyes on today. So let's hop on over to that stock heat map and see what's going on. We've got Apple sitting down 0.42% this morning. We've got Nvidia down 4.06. We've got Berkshire Hathaway down 0.09%. Amazon sitting up 0.33. We've got Eli Lilly down 0.24. ExxonMobil down 0.01, looking quite neutral. We've got Tesla down 0.57. P&G up 0.2, one of those dividend kings as well. We've got Microsoft down 0.86. We've got Google sitting up 4.12 and Meta sitting down 0.28. Hopping over to the crypto side of things, we're looking quite mixed over there as well. Quite a bit in the green. Just a little bit of some big red bubbles though. Scrolling on down, we've got Bitcoin up 1.2%, Ethereum up 3.2%. We've got XRP holding on to that number 4 position in that market cap, up 6.7, while BNB's up 0.9. We've got Solana moving up a spot in the market cap as well, up 5.3, while Tron is sitting down 1.6. We've got Dogecoin up 2.2, Cardano up 1.6, Bitcoin Cash down 4% right now, Chainlink up 2.4, sitting at $12.80, getting extremely close to some levels we were talking about. We've got Leo token looking quite nice this morning, up 1.5%. Normally don't see that when the rest of the market's looking so green, but it happens every once in a while. You've got Hyperliquid up 3.8, also moving a spot in the market cap. We've got Litecoin up 0.6 and HBAR sitting down 1.3. Hopping over to the fear and greed meters, no surprise, we are still in extreme fear on the stock side. We haven't got a whole lot of information that really lets the Fed know if we're going to hold rates steady or if we're going to cut rates or if they might start looking at an interest rate hike. Not a lot of people talk about it, but if you see inflation remain sticky, they get the job situation under control, then you might have to actually raise those interest rates. We do have the crypto side of things still in extreme fear. 1 point up from yesterday, but still looking pretty fearful. With that liquidation heat map, let's get it moved down to 0.8 so we can see that liquidity just a little bit better. We've got quite a bit of liquidity directly towards the upside on this daily. That's sitting at just under $90,000, starting at $89,600. Zooming on out, taking a look at this 3-day. Now that we've got a little bit of sideways momentum here at the bottom, we've got quite a bit of liquidity on both sides. We will need to pay attention to both sides because we are getting some data today that could definitely push things towards the downside. We've got that liquidity on the downside starting at $85,000 and going all the way down to about $83,600. So keep your eye on that downside range. If we get some ugly data, can definitely grab up that liquidity before trying to continue towards the upside. We've got quite a bit up at the top as well, starting at 89,500, ranging all the way down to about 89,200. So keep your eye on that top side as well. We're making our way a little bit closer to that bottom side liquidity. Could definitely get that push towards the downside with some bad data. We do have that 1 week also looking quite nice here. We've got quite a bit of liquidity towards the upside. We did manage to grab up some of that yesterday. We were talking about that top side liquidity, and we still left some towards the upside. So if we do get some favorable data, can very, very easily sweep up the rest of that liquidity, and then we'll kind of have to see if we can continue towards the upside a little bit more, because there's still quite a bit of liquidity towards the upside. And as you can see here, it is up above $100,000. So we will have to see if we can make our way back to our bull market support and turn that back into some support. Let's get over to that economic calendar, because like I said, we do have some data we will need to keep our eye on this morning. Let me scroll that on up here. As you can see, we've got core PPI month over month and year over year, looking like a slight decrease on that year over year, but a massive increase on the month over month. Was sitting negative 0.1% prior to 0.3% on that forecast. A little bit favorable there, especially 0.3 from that negative 0.1. Could get yourself a little pump and continue on towards the upside if we're actually seeing something positive on that. Would like to see that year over year heading back in the right direction. So we do have that non-core PPI as well. Also looking pretty similar to what we had before, but the year over year is looking a little bit iffy there, from 2.6 to 2.7. headed in the wrong direction, but we will see how that data comes out. Retail sales as well, month over month, looking like a slight decrease, not too unexpected. We have been seeing inflation be the big worry. That does tend to drive sales down just a little bit. But we're at that time of the year where you start to see those sales get a little bit of an increase. So we will keep our eyes on next month's retail sales. That'll be a big tell on how the economy is actually doing. But let's get over to that Bitcoin chart. Say good morning to everyone in the chat, because we've got several people in here this morning. Got a few people over on X as well. We've got JR first in the chat this morning. Good morning to you. We've got Jay Violet in here as well. Hopefully we can get that UB key working for you soon. We've got Donato Cabrera in the house. We've got Jay in the chat as well. Good morning to you. Let's see who else we got. We got Slagit. Sometimes it makes it a little bit hard to actually know with them actually using people's usernames. So you're probably someone that's been here before. If I butchered that name, I'm sorry. We've got Mark Dutch in the house as well. Good morning to you. Drop those clog emojis if you got them. Let's see who else we got in here. Looks like that's about it in the chat for now. We've got several lurkers in the background, so good morning to all of you. Let us see what's going on with this Bitcoin chart. We do have some shorter term time frames to kind of keep our eye on, but before we get to all of that, wrong trend line, let's take a look at the daily, because this daily continuing to look pretty nice as we get a little bit of a move back to that fair value gap we were talking about the other day. We were talking about needing to hold 88,600. We did get a little bit of a move above that yesterday, but we didn't close any higher term time frame candles above that area. That was that big contention that we needed to do if we really wanted to see continued moves towards the upside there. As you can see, we are trying to hold this trend line for now. That is pulled from the hourly there, so we'll kind of have to see if we get a dip back below that, or if we just get a nice little bounce off of that this morning. As we do have that data, we will keep our eye on that, see if we can get a little bit of a push. We've got plenty of curvature here on that MACD and prime oscillator here. We're sitting in the light red now, just waiting on some continued money flow here. We are starting to get some green candles. We do need to see that continue on the shorter term time frame, switch this candle from some red to green so that we can get a little bit of continuation. The money flow is starting to slow up on that selling pressure here on the daily. We will kind of have to keep our eye on that. The volume is a little bit low as well, so definitely waiting for a stronger push towards the upside or a stronger move towards the downside. I do think that data kind of sends us in one direction or another. With the way it's kind of looking, you might get a little bit of a move towards the downside first to clear out some of that liquidity that is directly below us. That would give us a stronger chance to move towards the upside. We did have that 1 hour looking quite nice as we do hold our support line, but we are at a little bit of an iffy area. We could continue towards the downside just a little bit here. We do have that MACD trying to break below our zero line. We've got that money flow back in the red here on the hourly, but we are nice and cooled off here on the prime oscillator. So potential for some bouncing if you can continue to hold this support line here. This is from candle bodies. We do get a little bit of wicking action below, so we'll kind of have to see on the shorter term time frame if we can continue with some money flow. We do have very strong resistance at that old fair value gap again. That is 88,600. Keep your eye on that level. Potential to see some more resistance coming in at that. Really see if we get a squeeze there. Let's get this to the shorter term time frame though. Get those trend lines pulled back up. Let's see what we got. We hid those ones. There we go. We're getting a little bit of a squeeze there. We did break a little bit towards the upside of what was resistance for now. We'll kind of have to see if we can turn that into some support. We do have extremely red money flow here on the shorter term time frame. We'll see if it gets another little roll over there, get a stronger bounce at our support level. That is around 87,200 there. So nice little area to kind of keep your eye on for a little bit of some bouncing action this morning, as we are getting a little bit of curvature there on the prime oscillator, and we're running a little bit sideways on that MACD. We're really struggling with some money flow, as we do have plenty of selling pressure. Your volume is starting to pick back up, and your money flows at a decision point. So we can get that curvature back towards the upside, or you can get that continued rollover there. So keep your eye on that money flow this morning as we make our way to some support areas. We do have that resistance line, and we do have this support line that we've been holding on the hourly to kind of keep your eye on. So definitely a few bouncing spots towards the bottom. If you break below there, we had all of that liquidity to really keep your eye on. That would give us a bit of a stronger bouncing point to try to make our way back up to this fair value gap top or bottom. And then we would see if we can find that positioning to make our way back up to that $90,000 range. Did we have any stock or alt requests for the morning? If so, go ahead, throw them in the chat. I see Deborah in here this morning. Good morning to you. I know there was a few that were talked about. MO, PBR, and ZIM are my dividends. That's what Jay was talking about. One of those is on the list there. Eli Lilly, says Jay Violet. That one did not make the list. Those dividend kings have a very specific category that they have to fall in, and dividend kings have to have had those dividends for a length of time, and that's normally about 25 years there. So we can take a look at a few of these requests here. We've got Zcash on the list from JR. If we got time, we can take a look at some Aster as well. We've got Solana there from JR again. Let's see what we got. We've got OKLO and SMR, two of my favorite nuclear stocks, and we've got gold on the list as well. We can definitely take a look at that one. I was calling out some levels on that one yesterday. We end up getting up to our higher resistance before we got that little bit of a move towards the downside. So let's get over to our stock list real quick, because we did have several stocks to go over pretty quickly. These are the dividend kings. Let me get that one out of there. There we go. We did have a few that are in some other categories to kind of keep your eye on, but you know, we did have Jay call out that first one, and that is going to be MO. MO is Altria Group. Definitely a nice dividend king. Remains with some steady growth here, looking at a nice area for some potential buying. I did have $57.10 marked out on my chart here. It has been an area I've been watching from back there, retesting it as some support. We are above the 382 as well. Potential for a little bouncing there if we don't hold our what was resistance as some support there. So $55.11. These are more of a long-term hold. They will pay you quarterly. That is the nice thing about dividend stocks. I normally just roll my dividends back into my stock. We have AWR on this list, American States Water. As you can see, moving a little bit sideways as the market has gotten some dumps. That is normally the nice thing about dividends. They hold up a little bit better during the downtrends, and they also pay you for it instead of getting the more explosive growth. We have CWT. This is California Water Services. It has been getting a little more retrace than AWR was. Nice dividend there. We've got CINF. This is Cincinnati Financial Corporation. nice little uptrend that it's in. I don't have any targets for this one, but I will be dropping this list in the Discord. We do have Coca-Cola as well. Nope, a very big stock to kind of keep your eye on. It is very, very close to all-time highs here, so we'll see if it gets some decent pullback. But, steady growth trend. That is normally the favorable thing about dividends. Steady growth, and they pay you while you get that steady growth. We have CL on that list. A nice little retracement here, potential for some buying. I would look for a little bit lower as we hold some of those lower ranges. We have about $74 to about $68. So nice little buying range from our lows here. We do have a CBSH also in a little bit of a sell-off here, looking to at least hold the lows from back here. As you see, we're starting to get a little bit of sideways momentum. This is more of a long trend thing though, so never really a bad time to buy those dividends. We've got DOV, that is Dover Corporation, also looking like a little bit iffy. You could get some lower entries, but I normally don't shoot for the absolute lows on these as they do grow very well over time. You have EMR on here as well, Emerson Electric Company, FRT, looking like it's a little bit toppy there as well, so could get some lower entries. You've got GPC, Genuine Parts Company, extremely sold off here, but at least maintaining the highs from our last sideways range there. So might not be a bad time to get in on that one. A few of these are at better entry points than others. We have FUL as well. This is HB Fuller Company, also looking like it is quite sold off, so might be a decent time to buy on that one, trying to hold the highs from back here. We got Mike Student 1984. Fart is a fart coin. Fart as in fart coin. Oh, y'all are talking about some degen stuff there. We got HRL in here. This one is massively sold off. I wouldn't necessarily dip my toes in just yet. This is Hormel Foods. Definitely have the potential for a little bit lower here. Normally you don't get these great buying opportunities here, but this is one of those that has been affected a little bit harder. J&J, another biggie on that list. All-time highs here, so probably not the time to buy J&J. I did own J&J during COVID, and after COVID, I sold off. So not only did they pay me to hold the stock, but I also got all the explosive growth from COVID. That was a nice one. We've got Lowe's here, nice little steady growth, Definitely not a terrible time to buy, as you're getting to that period where people are going to spend some money. Some people are probably going to buy some gifts for dads at Lowe's. So we do have NDSN. This is Nordson. Nice little clear out of some liquidity there on the futures market, and looking like you could get some lower entries. We will kind of have to see if we can hold the highs here at about 223, or if we're going to come back lower and retest some of the lows down here at about $200 there. We've got NWN. This is Northwest Natural Holdings. Looking at a nice point for some potential entries here. We are still a little bit toppy, so looking a little bit lower, you might get an entry around $40. We've got PH here, massively overbought. As you can see, definitely looking at the point where you could see a little bit of some pullbacks there. It's sitting at $840, massive CME gap here around $820. It is holding the top side for now, but all-time highs on that one, wouldn't necessarily buy right this second. We've got SWK as well. This is decently sold off. Would look for at least $56 to hold. I don't have any of these levels marked out, but I'm letting you know as we get there. We do have some lows down here on SCL. This is Stephan Company. Looking for some lows around $37. Might be a nice point for some entries. SYY. This is Cisco Corporation, a trucking company, moves a lot of food around the United States, been on a massive growth trend, and looking like it's holding that 67 as some lows. We do have our highs up at that 84.40 range, so we'll kind of have to see if we get some continued consolidation here. That would be a nice time to do some picking up. This one did make the list. Not necessarily the biggest fan. This is Target, and if you've heard anything about Target, they've been absolutely demolished. Don't know if this is the right time to buy. Me personally would not be buying this, and that's just because Target has been absolutely decimated. They've been laying employees off. They're looking at closing stores as well. So Target is on the list, but I wouldn't personally buy it. So we did have a few requests to go over as well. Forgot to add EPD. Let's see what's going on with that one. EPD, that was on the stock list there. Enterprise Products Partners, looking like a nice little level for maintaining some of the highs from back here. So could get some next movements towards the upside there. You would have a few others on that list if you're paying attention to the chat. Dividend stocks, not widely talked about. They pay you to hold. So they're not a big part of my holding, but I do have a few dividend plays. My other one is Novo Nordisk. They are a healthcare company that manufactures drugs. They've got Ozempic on that, nice and sold off, holding the platinum pocket quite nicely. So probably going to do a little more buying there on that one. I own more than a few shares. I'm probably going to pick up a few more here as we get back to that platinum pocket, lower my entry just a little bit. And it has been holding that quite nicely. That was a sideways range from back there. So looking like an all right time to buy. We will see if it breaks below that one. So let's see. I started shorting 2 hours ago, says Allset. Hey, not a bad move. That was what my move was for the morning as well. We had XPL requested. You're down that risk curve, JR. XPL. We'll get that one on the list. And let's see if we got anything else. Looks like that's about it for now. Let's dive into some of those requests real quick, and then we'll get over to those stock requests. So we had a few requests here. Link was one of those requests. We were looking for a few levels towards the upside. Let's get that moved back so you can actually see the price action. We were calling out a few levels. We wanted to see us hold one of those levels once we got above it. Pretty much same thing as Bitcoin. We got that move above it, but very, very quickly came back to the downside. We were looking for $12.87 to be a bit of a support level. We were looking for $13.22 to be our rejection. That was exactly where we got our rejections on Link. So nice little move towards the upside yesterday. I know JR was talking about this one as well. But let's get to some Solana. We were looking at that one the other day as well. We had a few levels towards the upside to kind of keep your eye on. Pretty much the same thing as Bitcoin. We wanted to get above a key level. That was 137. And we wanted to see it hold as some support. And just like Bitcoin, did not hold as some support. We've got Alexandra G in the house this morning. Good morning to you, Mod Queen. Hope you're having a great day so far. As you can see, we are getting a little bit of a pullback here on the daily. We've dropped below 137, that area we were potentially looking for some support at. We will kind of have to see with the way this money flow is looking on the higher term time frame, but those oscillators are starting to get that curvature up. If we can get that flip over of money flow and really start breaking above our higher resistance at $140. So let's get this zoomed on in, take a look at that hourly, see what's going on there. As you can see, we got that nice move above 137, tried to hold it as some support, failed to make a higher high here and then dropped below to find 137 as some resistance there. We'll kind of have to see, because this money flow is looking nice and green as we move a little bit sideways under 137 to get us a little bit of cool off on the hourly. If we can start to get some bottoming here, we are trying to hold 136 as our short-term time frame support here. So nice little level to come back down to, really see some bouncing at before you get that up, move back up to 137.12. You are getting a little bit of sideways momentum here on the MACD as well. We just need a little bit of continuation of money flow. As you can see, we are stalling just a little bit, but that's not too unexpected as we are in that little bit of an in-between time between London and New York session. So I would like to see this hourly cool off a little bit more here so that we can actually get that nice strong pump towards the upside. Better move to get that cool off would be a move towards the downside. So I would like to see about 135.50 be our better bouncing point. We would need to break below 160 first, though. We are starting to see just a little bit of money flow coming in on the shorter term time frame, so keep your eye on that 15-minute, see what's going on with the money flow. We are getting a little bit of a push on back in on some buying pressure, but you're seeing it contend with a lot of sell pressure here. Wrong button. There we go. We've got a little bit of some sell pressure building on up here on the 15-minute. We are getting just a little bit overheated, but we are ranging sideways. So we'll kind of have to see if we can get that overheating with just some continued sideways momentum, or if we're going to get that push back up towards resistance, get a stronger rejection to really cool off that hourly so that we can get that stronger move back above our resistance there. 137 was trying to be held as some support. That was a key level we were talking about before we got that move below it. So definitely looking like we're trying to get that push back up this morning. We will see what kind of money flow we can get on the shorter term time frame. MACD looking like it's getting that curvature back towards the upside too, but it is ranging a little bit sideways there. So we do need some extremely strong money flow coming on in here, as we are starting to look a little bit toppy on that 15-minute. The better cool off would be a move towards the downside below 135, about 135, 150 to 136 there. Let's see, we got French Toaster in the house and Corn Solid Mafia in here as well. Good morning, good morning. Let's take a look at some Zcash. That one was requested as well. Wrong. We want that on crypto. There we go. Get over to that Coinbase chart. We were talking about an area for some support. That was 486.66. I don't know where that price came out from, but there we go. 486.66. That was the support area we held, but we are still in a downtrend here on the shorter time frame. Let's get this zoomed back out, take a look at that daily. As you can see, we were looking for some moves towards the upside, got a little bit of a move above our target there before continuing towards the downside here. Got a nice strong bounce off of 517 yesterday, really looking like we could continue towards the downside just a little bit here. We will kind of have to see if we come back down to 486.66. Looking to make a bit of a higher low. This is that point where we would have to do so. If we do start dropping below that, we would make those equal lows. If we're going to make the equal lows, you might as well sweep out the liquidity. So we've got a few areas to kind of keep our eyes on the shorter term time frame. You can see we got that bouncing action this morning off of 486.66. Really struggling to get back above the lows from back here. We're seeing a little bit of some sell pressure on that this morning, but we're at a nice point here on the hourly, nice and cooled off here. We do have a double bullish divergence. The big slow up is our money flow. We do need some buying pressure to start stepping back in. I would look for a nice little bouncing action at some lower levels. As you can see, we do have a level back here where we got very equal candle bodies all over again. That was 492.25. Let's get that short-term horizontal ray. That's where we got a lot of buying pressure coming from. So there we go, short-term horizontal ray for you. Look for a little bit of bouncing at that level. We would get a little more cool off pulling back to that. We'll kind of have to see what the 15-minute in the morning is bringing our way, because as you can see, we already got one bounce off of it on the 15-minute. But we've still got lots of selling pressure to contend with. We do have a bullish divergence here as well. Really waiting for a fourth reversal signal to start flashing. We would need to break above the lows from back here. Really hold that as some support to get back up to 517 and our stronger resistance. That was what I got for some Zcash. We will see if we get some data that can push the markets towards the upside there. Let's take a look at gold real quick. See what was going on there, because we were talking about some levels towards the upside yesterday. We were looking for that break above $4,098. We were looking for a fair value gap from back here. As you can see, that is where it was pulled from. Pretty sure that's from the 4-hour. Looking like, yep, it was from the 4-hour there. So that was a 4-hour fair value gap. We were looking at breaking back into it to see some resistance at 155. Pretty much exactly what happened. Got that pullback to our one line, and then we're really failing to get back into the fair value gap here. We're starting to look extremely toppy here on the 4-hour. You do have that hourly looking a little bit cooled off, so we'll kind of have to see if we can get some continued money flow. If not, looking for a rejection at the bottom side of this fair value gap to push you just a little bit lower here. We do have 4,098 being that next real area to kind of keep your eye on for some bouncing. If you do get above this fair value gap though, because you get some money flow coming back in, I would look for 4,155 to be a little bit of some resistance in the morning before you get a little more cool off to kind of push you a little bit higher there. So keep your eye on about 4,155. If you get above 4,140. Let's take a look at that 15-minute, see what the morning's looking like. And as you can see here, we are starting to look a little heated up as we made our way back to the bottom side of that fair value gap. So to see a little bit of a rejection there would not be too unexpected, especially how the higher time frame is looking a little bit toppy. We are starting to lose that buying pressure as well here on gold. So definitely got the potential for a little downside unless that data really gives us some positive news to push us a little bit higher there. We're looking a little bit iffy on that year over year, but it definitely could get that move towards the upside if it comes in a little under what was expected on PPI. I would kind of favor a short just for the morning. So looks like that's what you were looking at too. So glad we're in line on that one. We do have a few stock requests here. We were talking about SMR the other day. We said some buying spots would be coming our way. As you can see, we definitely got some moves towards the downside. We called out a few levels. I did some buying around $21. That was the 382 there. I am sitting a little bit towards the downside on it. We were potentially looking for that move down to our CME gap down here. We ended up closing that out yesterday. 2 days ago. So that would have been on Friday. We ended up closing out that CME gap. Got a bounce off of the 236. Really looking extremely bottomed here on the daily, but we're extremely close to a support line. So could make some moves towards the downside if you start seeing this 382 come in as some resistance, get a little bit of sideways momentum in here, get a better retest off of our strong support. As you can see, that is support from all the way back here in January of 2024. We will see if we get that bouncing action. We are looking like we're opening up exactly where we closed yesterday. We do have this hourly also looking just a little bit iffy. As you're staying below the zero line, you're continuing to contend with a lot of sell pressure here. You do have a few bullish divergences that didn't div at all. We're just getting back above that CME gap. Would look for a nice little bounce back at the CME gap top. That's about $18.61. Really needs some money flow here. We're not getting much of anything. As you can see, the 15-minute also looking extremely toppy here as you continue to see this red money flow. It hasn't been contended with too hard. Really waiting to see some absorption. Would be nice to see that CME gap turned into some support. That would really confirm you with a higher low on the higher term time frames. That would give you that ability to get up to the 382 and $21 there. Let's see. We've got Steve Hickey in the house this morning. Good morning, sir. Hope you're having a great day. Let's see. We had another request to go over. That was OKLO. We were looking for some levels towards the downside on this one. I got in at about $90-ish. We did get some moves below that. Didn't end up deploying at that golden pocket. On the higher term time frames, we held that quite nicely there. As you can see, started getting some buying pressure stepping on in at that golden pocket area. Your money flows back in the green on the daily here. You're looking a little bit bottomed, but you haven't got any reversal signals just yet. So potential to really come back down to that golden pocket all over again. $85.20. Might do a little more buying on that one as well. We will see if we continue to see that rejection from our moving averages here. We are getting that curvature on our MACD and prime oscillator, and that money flow is still in the red here on the hourly. So really looking for that higher low. Nice little higher low could come in at that golden pocket. You do have pre-market opening up towards the upside there. So if you do get above that $90.24, really hold it as some support. You can get some quicker movements up towards the upside. We have a few fair value gaps to kind of contend with above us. So looking for some rejections around $100 if you continue on towards the upside there. So let's take a look at Aster. That one was requested as well, and that'll probably be the last one for the day because I gotta get to work. So ASTER, let's see what's going on with some Aster there. We've got it on Binance. Let's see what's going on. Nice sideways momentum holding the highs from back there. Let's get this zoomed on out. Take a look at that higher term time frame so we can get some fib levels pulled on up. We've got from our lows down here to our highs up here. Nice little holding of the platinum pocket there, and seeing that golden pocket really be some resistance. We are trying to make some higher lows here, but we've got that golden pocket directly above us at 128 coming in as some resistance. We got that nice sweep of liquidity towards the upside before we really drop back down below the golden pocket, made a higher low all over again. We are in a little bit of an uptrend, so keep your eye on some money flow. We are still in the red here on the daily, but we can very easily break into some green money flow here on the daily. We are holding that zero line quite nicely. Mark Dutch, have a good one. Hope to see you in the chats a little bit later. We've got that curvature back on the prime oscillator as well. So the only thing really lacking here on the higher term time frame is money flow. We would need to get above 126-ish to really see some stronger moves towards the upside on the higher term time frame. Let's see what's going on the hourly though. Nice and cooled off. Got a little bit of a pullback. Let's see what's going on with a shorter term time frame fib there. We've got our highs to our low. Seeing that 382 be our resistance area there, trying to hold the 236. So let's get that zoomed in. Golden pocket coming in close to the macro golden pocket as well. Let's get that higher term time frame hidden so we can see what's going on the shorter term time frame. As you can see, that 382 coming in as our shorter term time frame resistance. We're in a little bit of an uptrend here on the shorter term time frame with that 382 coming in as some resistance at $1.20. we're starting to get some curvature back towards the upside on those oscillators, but we're just lacking some money flow. So potential to see 120 come in as some resistance all over again, unless you really see some strong money flow coming in. Because as you can see, we got that nice little visit into some buying pressure here on the shorter term time frame, but it hasn't maintained too nicely. And as we get this movement back towards the upside, it has really heated up those oscillators there. Starting to see that start to move a little sideways on the prime oscillator, and MACD not moving sideways just yet, but you're starting to see that slowdown of the candles on the histogram as you lose your money flow and your volume's extremely low. So would like to see that retest on our 236 114 coming in as a nice little area to potentially see some bouncing. It would cool off those oscillators quite nicely and give you that ability to get back up to $1.20. We do have some resistance above us as well, up at about $1.22 to $1.21. So let's get that box drawn on up as a resistance area for you, so you can see that just a little bit better there. This will be our resistance from our highs here to our highs there. That'll be a resistance area, red box for you. Kind of an area to keep your eye on. So 122 to about 123 there would be that resistance area to keep your eye on. That's Astra for you. I don't have time for some XBL, JR, but I'm sure you've already got some TA for you. We've got Stefan Farmer in the house. Good morning to you. Hope you're having a great day. It is time for me to wind the show on down, though. Make sure to tune into the other shows here on the Piper Academy. We've also got that Discord. We do a lot over there. Keep your eyes out for that next stock list, as we are looking like the bull market could be over here in crypto. I am looking to position a little heavier in stocks so that I have a little more liquidity when we get to the bear market bottoms. Make sure to tune in to that morning market report for our macro data. As I said, we get PPI data today. If you want the breakdown of that, Piper will do a great job at 10 a.m. Eastern time. If you like to do some trading, we've also got a show for that, 7 p.m. Eastern time. That is the place to be if you like to trade and you like to make some money. Until next time, make sure to wake up, because today's going to be a good day.
Mapping out the blockchain, moves like a choreographer. Coins flip faster than a pancake breakfast. Stacks grow taller, skyscraper investments. Huddle tight, it's a carnival ride. Bulls and bears tango, markets collide. Digital Picasso painting wealth on a screen. My portfolio's a jazz riff, slick and serene. Good morning, crypto, the future's alive. Riding this wave, digital dive. From Bitcoin to Ether, I'm stacking my dough. BC Port Corp, I'm the star of the show. On fire, it's a blockchain blaze. Private keys locked up, vaults for days. Mining these coins, I'm the digital prospector. Every transaction's a jazz band connector. NFT spinning like a vinyl record. Rare art, rare beats, value detected. Flipping these assets, my hustle supreme. Crypto jazz freestyle, living the dream. Markets dance, unpredictable swing. Fortunes made with the keyboard fling. Rug pulls lurking, gotta stay sharp. Play the long game, crypto's my harp. digital dive. From Bitcoin to Ether, I'm stacking my dough. BC Port Corp, I'm the star of the show. NFT spinning like a vinyl record. Rare art, rare beats, value detected. Flipping these assets, my hustle supreme. Crypto jazz freestyle, living the dream. Markets dance, unpredictable swing. Fortunes made with a keyboard fling. Rug pulls lurking, gotta stay sharp. Play the long game, crypto's my harp.